Songs to Our Lady of Primal Joy, 10. I strolled the dark wood of subjection in contemplative prodigious thought. When 100 glowing smiles surrounded me, I stood frozen as ice in that spot. They were a band of wizards and men, and with lavender wands they wavered me in. They offered me tea and English gin. We had a laugh, and then it all began. And what a wonderful willing existence enveloped me there in that subjective wood. My eyes became wide and my senses sharp. My soul was neither evil nor good. And thus began to echo in my brain to all the death about us, to all the seasonal pain, to all those Sanctus Sanctus songs. To every psalm of rain we take a chance, children dance, grandparents die at last. We toast their ghost with English gin. And from that toast the trip begins to all those folks who live in sin and priestess punks who search within to find euphoric phallic frothing. It's always black and English gin is always there, is ever fair, will never betray by chance intruding. Hidden curiosities blossom profusely in contrast with sleepwalkers drooling. To all the masters enslaved in Congress, to all the peasants who've mastered time, to all the soldiers who unsheathed their swords, to all the kings who sipped their wine, I sat among these wizards and men with teardrops in my eyes. And then among the skyward frivolous treetops rested on clouds of air, to my surprise came compromise. The fairy kings in awe I stared, and with their pantomorphic, ever-colorful suits of rainbow gold, they glared. With an immortal glow they shared. Their interdimensional goal they spared our lives for a meager mug of English gin to ride the tides within themselves. I laughed and laughed as they crashed and smashed to the floor. We sat in circles watching smoke rings rise, but more within that material mist we saw ourselves all die. In the blink of an eye it was no lie. The death that robs a man of life, though bitter life at times may be, must come one day, must come to pass, must come and lift and rip that man from a perpetual past in the chain of days. The fairy king stood up amazed, and the wizard men removed their hats and began to sing Gregorian chant in the flat monophonic of their incubated fears. So I strolled down a pathway I'd not seen before. As the sounds of the wizard's damp Catholic, guilt-riddled, medieval imploring faded out far behind, there was only black quiet ahead. The warm breeze of this woodland has softened my reason, for now I'm quite sure that the trees suffer seasons with faint tender passion till spring's resurrection reassumes their apparel with greenest of leaves. My soul is unfastened by luminous stars. The pathway I'd walked down had led me quite far through this woodland subjective where the lunatics dwell. My one foot's in heaven and the other's in hell, but they're both rooted deep past the pit of my ego. And this path winds forever that it seems through the wood. There has never nor would ever an ending there should there be but forgetting of one's lessening self. All this did I ponder whilst walking swift paths through the shades and the arbors and the ever-wise wind. And of a sudden I found myself surrounded where I was by the blaze and the twinkle of 1,000 soft eyes, and their bodies were nude and with dragonfly wings floated, nearly mesmerizing all of my cool, conscious wit. As the flip of their flappings like laughterous whisperings of myriad magic and stereo spice titillated, tented, and taunted and altered my touch with reality, wrinkling the fabric of follied perception of self, thus dissolving quote-unquote truth. Till my intellect all but too soon had forgotten truth, glimpsing it within sparks quickly darkening, hearkening songs in etheric blistered inkling, twist tabulation to flip wicked meaning. In what a rhyme and rippled language, from what sublime and downtrodden anguish drifted up from deepest dreaming, like some lost subconscious message. I was whispering, sometimes screaming, scribbled strips of splendored glory. I was sleeping, sometimes dreaming, hidden holes of fermented fury, grasping past the dreaming watchers into the gnarled path of ancestral retinue, grasping at the sweet nymph maiden quickening, ghost mistress mother of the brambling green, grasping and yearning and tossing and turning, O fortune's bright wheel in this circle of the eye, and I am the hand that turns the green liturgy, by vision or by trance, by a truth or a lie.